Here we are back again, and this time we are talking about mobile app design and specifically working with icons. If you're going to be designing mobile apps, sooner or later you're going to have to touch some icons, either downloaded or created on your own. And before I show you some examples, I'll show you a great resource to use. This is the Noun Project. I might have mentioned this before. This is a great resource to use. You just type in what you're looking for here, do a search, and once you find an icon that you want to use, go ahead and select it. You'll have to log in and create an account, which I've already done. Then when you want the icon, just click Get This Icon. You have two options here. You've got the Pro download, where you have to pay a licensing fee to actually use the icon, maybe in an application or a mobile application. They have different options for membership for that. And then there's also the basic download. That's what I use, and I just give credit to the person that created it, and that's called Creative Commons license, where you don't pay anything and you can download it. You just have to give attribution to that person. I typically download the PNG so I can have the transparent background. Then once you get into Sketch, you can change the colors to match whatever you're working on. So I've already done that, and let's jump back over into Sketch. I've got these two here, this username icon that I've downloaded, and I've got a lock icon that I'm going to use for password. And we've got the people that created them there. What I typically do is I'll create a copy. So I'll hold down Alt, drag out a copy here, double click it, and then I go into edit mode. I'm going to draw a little border around it and then crop out the name. Click off, and now I have what I can use here. So I drag it into my artboard, and from here you can click on fills and change the color, which is very nice. And it's a PNG, so you've got transparency in the middle and on the sides here, which is very, very nice. I'm going to go ahead and resize this. I'm going to drop it way down here until I get it to the size that I want. Drag it over here next to my username field. And just to make it match up, I'm going to drop the opacity down a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing for this lock icon. So hold down Alt, drag out a copy. I'm going to double click to put it into edit mode, select this guy, and then crop it. Click off to save my changes. Let's shrink it down before we go in there first. I'm going to hold down Shift, get it down just a bit. I'll drag it over into here, and let's change the color to white. You can change it to red, blue, purple, pink, any color that you need. It's going to shrink it down just a bit more, something like that. Get it next to the password field, and let's drop down the opacity for this guy as well. There we go. And let's not get sloppy. Let's try to make it match up in terms of spacing. Get those centered. And there you go. So now I have two icons. It makes my login screen look a lot better. Now my next example, I have kind of the same deal here. So I've got a few more icons, and this time I've got a weather forecast app, and I can give attribution to the people who created here. Go ahead and read those out if you'd like. I'm going to drag out a copy of the sun here, and this time same thing. First let's go ahead and select, let's crop, let's resize. Now this time when I drag it in here, I'm going to change the color just to show you that option. Let's get it centered right here in the app. Hit center. I'm going to go to my fills, and let's choose kind of an orangish color. I like the way that looks. And then for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I can drag down more copies. Let's grab this guy, drag this over here. This is a very simple weather app, nothing fancy about it. We can turn this to a white color, get it centered. And then the same deal with these others. I can drag out copies, put them in there, and change the color. And there we go. So my weather app screen is complete. I've taken icons and dropped them in there. Very handy thing. Icons just bring your app screens to life. And now in our last example, I want to show you, you can create your own icons. Some can be detailed, some can be pretty simple. In this video player, let's go ahead and create some video control buttons. Let's come up here and let's draw out some triangles. So I'm going to hold down Shift to get it proportional. Drop it down something like that, and I think I want it to 90 degrees perhaps. Yeah, there we go. I'll flip it around. Let's change this to white. And then with that triangle selected, I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate. Use the arrow keys on my keyboard. Draw that out. And then let's get a line in here. Something like that. Let's thicken that up a bit. Let's change the color to white. And now I want to go ahead and group that. I think I got them all. Nope. In my layers panel, we're missing the line here. So we got all three. Let's hit Command G to group it. And let's just call this Rewind button. Let's get this right in the center. And we'll duplicate that. So I'll hit Command D. Grab the whole thing. I'm going to flip it and then use the arrow keys on my keyboard. Bring that over here. Voila. And we're also going to need a play button. So let's get that. Let's steal one of these triangles. I'm going to hold down Command, grab that, hit Command D, and then drag it out. And in your layers panel, this triangle is still part of the group here. I don't want that. I'm going to drag it up and out so it's not part of that. Let's increase the size, something like that, and let's flip it. This play goes the other way. We get that right in the center, and then one more thing, let's draw out an oval. So I'm going to hit O for oval on my keyboard. I'm going to hold down Shift, drag out a circle. Let's do something like that. Okay, I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate. Let's change the color. So now I have, let me back up a little bit. I have two of these circles. I'm going to change the color of the top one to a reddish. Let's zoom into this guy. I'm going to hold down Alt Shift and click and drag because all I really want is that border. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to hold down Shift, grab both of these guys, and then subtract up here with my Boolean operations. Let's change this to all the way white. Click off that, and then let's get it kind of centered here. There we go. So now I've created my own icons. I've got a play button, I've got some other controls here, and down here I've also created some other stuff. So you do have the option to create your own icons, whether they're simple or a little bit more complex. They might take a little bit more time. You can do it. One thing I used to do is I would jump over to the Noun project, and I would try to recreate some of these icons as I downloaded. So I would grab maybe a cup icon, and then within Sketch I would practice duplicating those icons. And doing that, you can get pretty good at those details, the fine little details, and how you would actually go about creating some of these shapes. Great practice. Alright, so that's pretty much it for working with icons. Let's go ahead and jump into the next section.